All right, this is Gary Watt Homes, and I'm really happy to have our guest here today, Roy Payan. One of the things that I really wanted to stress is that as we're building out our app, Hometown, there was one person that came up to me that asked, how are you making this app accessible for my mother who's blind? And since she asked that question, I couldn't get that thought out of my mind. How does that happen? How do people see homes? That's a really big question. So that question kept meddling in my mind until one day I went to a Starbucks and I saw Roy from across the room, and I saw that he had a walking stick.
A cane.
And I said, I gotta talk to him and ask him. And so I asked for a minute of your time. We ended up talking about half an hour.
Right.
And I asked the same question. I told him I'm building a real estate app called Hometown that's going to be video incorporated as well as all the multiple listing service in there. But really, how does a blind person see a home? Today, we're going to get some of those insights, what needs there are in the blind community that we can serve. Roy, tell us a little about yourself, what you're doing, what your role is, and just all the amazing things that you have told me about yourself.
Okay, well, again, my name is Roy Payan, and I'm a disability rights advocate. So I advocate for people to have accessibility to different applications, programs, and especially within the realm of education, workplace, and housing. To me, housing is a human right, and everybody has a right to own a home. I want to be able to build affordable housing for persons with disabilities, especially within the vision impaired and blind community, because as many as there are, there's not enough housing for us, and it's a market that's long been neglected. So if you can imagine, there's a market of 15 million people, of which less than 1% own a home. So that's a market that's been untapped. To me, I think that's a market that's been
I think it's just so amazing that out of all the people that I can meet, I meet you, an advocate for the blind that wants to set up housing for the blind community. And now we've known each other for a couple months at this point. I've gone to some of your events. What are some of the major factors that the blind community needs or wants when they're looking for a home?
So as a visually impaired blind person, when we start looking for a home, we want to know the characteristics of the house, first of all. What does it look like? What does it feel like?
So you mean the description on Zillow, it's a 3-bed, 2-bath, newly updated, not good enough.
And again, you have to understand that as a visually impaired person, at some point I could see, so I remember colors, but people who've never been able to see, people who've been blind all their life or were born blind, they don't know colors. So when you say it's red or black, they don't know what red or black looks like. Yeah. So colors aren't really as important to them as much as if you say it's a warm color scheme, it's a cool color scheme. So that's more important for a person who's vision impaired. There's light coming through the house. It's more cool. That's the kind of descriptives that we rely on. And then also, if you say we've got these walls over here that are wood paneled, there you can feel the wood paneling, or you can feel the texture of the walls. It's got a French texture. That's the kind of stuff that we want to hear. But more important than that is give me a feel of the house. Describe it to me, because if you don't describe it to me, I really don't know what the house looks like. And that's the thing, is that a lot of realtors put up pictures on their websites and for people to view the houses, but a person with visual impairment has no idea what the house looks like. And so when you ask the lay person, what does the house look like? Oh, it's a house. Like,
it's nice, it's cute.
And that's what I get. It's like, that tells me nothing. So it's like, describe the house to me, because most people are not trained how to describe a house to a visually impaired or blind person. They're giving us misinformation, or they don't take the time to really describe. So my thing is, let's train people who are professionals in the field.
You know, when I went with you to that party at USC, I thought that was an interesting experience for myself, and I really try to put it on myself when I'm with you to describe the settings. As I'm walking in, I'm like, wow, this is beautiful, this is pretty, and I see it, but you don't see it. And that's why whenever I spend time with you, I am always trying to make a conscious effort to describe everything I see.
And that's excellent. That's exactly the way that we appreciate, because again, we don't get to appreciate a lot of the beauty, a lot of the architecture, but when somebody takes the time to describe to us, this is what's occurring here, this is what this looks like, then we begin to appreciate that more, because now we get a mental picture within our head that says, okay, I can visualize the layout, I can feel it more, and then I have more of an appreciation for what it is, and then not only that, but it adds more value to wherever I'm in when I get that kind of descriptive, because without that, I really don't know. Most if somebody's walking me, I'm just walking through, nothing to me
Yep.
until somebody gives me the descriptions. So
Even that hallway we walked around in USC, I remember describing, these are brick hallways. They're painted glossy gray, and it's gray everywhere, gray on the floor, gray everywhere, and we're walking down this long hallway. I'm looking down, it's maybe about 40 feet long, and then it comes up to a glass door that's about 20 feet high, and as the glass door opens, the ceilings go up 30, 40 feet, and there's this brightly lit reception in
Right.
front of us that has an elevator or escalator on the right and the left, and those are the kind of things that I had a lot of fun
Descriptions, yeah.
describing, to be able to see it in your eyes, actually, in your mental eyes, how that looks like to you.
No, and then to be able to tell me from here you can see all the way out to the marina. Well, I've been to the marina, so I know where it's at.
Yeah.
And so it gave me a description. Wow, I can see from here, from downtown LA, all the way out to the harbor.
Wow.
That's important because
Yeah.
again, I wouldn't have known that without you because again, I don't see that. Here where we came, to tell me this kind of resembles the Palace of Versailles. I mean, I've been there, so I remember that.
yeah,
but
yeah.
imagine for a person who's never been there or who's never been able to see, you'd have to describe the French had this palace
Yep.
that's it's very, very structured. and so-
Grand
yeah.
and symmetrical.
Right.
So what I did when we came here, and if I could take your hand, what I did was I drew out the roof line,
Right.
and it goes up and it goes symmetrical back down right here.
Right.
And so it allowed him to map visually what I see in front of him. And I told him there's a flag on top. It's very symmetrical, west wing, east wing, and how that all plays out right there. And so
Right.
I think it's I really feel like as realtors get to know more the community and how to do that, we were talking with your friend Argelia and how to maybe even start an organization to certify realtors to be trained in this way and to be able to make better descriptions. And that's why I feel like Hometown is strategically positioned to be able to use video content to make it accessible for all types of people, from the blind or visually impaired or hard of hearing, that makes it hard to buy a home.
So imagine, if you will, and again, this is not limited to only the visually impaired or blind, to a person with autism, to a person in a wheelchair, to a person with macular degeneration, a senior.
Yes.
It's important for us to know you're trying to sell me this house, but give me some purpose to buy it.
Yeah.
So when I get a description saying, well, this is a 30 condo unit, there's this, and then give me some description, but we're a block away from eateries, where there's a museum, there's a school, there's a bus line, there's a metro line. Give me a layout of the line so I know where I'm at, and then this way I'll say, it gives me a better feel for the walkability of the place, but also the livability, because again, I want to be able to know the neighborhood as does for anybody.
Livability, what does that mean to you? Because they actually have a walkability score on these homes now. What does livability mean?
Right, so livability to me, I want to be able to come out of my house and say, let me take a walk in the park. How far is the park from me? Let me take a walk to a cafe, to a restaurant, to an eatery. Let me take a walk
Store.
a grocery store,
Pharmacy.
to a metro bus or to
Why
a line.
is walking so important?
Well, because first of all, we need the exercise. People with disabilities don't get as much exercise as they should. But it's also because traveling for us costs money. We don't drive it, so it costs us more to travel than it does the normal person. So we want spaces within walkability that are going to be accessible to us. So something that has walkability, something that has livability. Again, living spaces where we can say, "There's a park. Let me go enjoy my coffee there. Let me walk over to the bakery, pick up a cup of coffee and enjoy it at the park."
Yeah.
To be able to live again, because again, a lot of us were not born with disabilities. We, at some point in life, we either became sick or through accident or through some kind of misfortune became disabled. It's important for us to know that we can live again, that we value our lives again.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I really hope that the realtors can join us in this cause to serve this community. I think it's profitable. And I also think it's doing good. And so I think when you have a combination like that, it really can help everybody at the end of the day. And I really hope that as a company for Hometown, we always keep these issues and these matters at our forefront of our mind of how we can provide technology and leverage technology to help our communities around us. We're very excited about working with Roy and also helping the community and connecting with the community to be able to do bigger and better things for the community. So thank you, Roy. I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I like it.
That's a wrap.